What's going on? Welcome back to the channel. So I already did a video earlier today, but the Q&A just came out, and honestly, I've been kind of really worried about this. So I wanted to go over some of the general questions right now and everything that you need to know. So make sure you guys hit that thumbs up, and with that, let's get right to it. So just going to orient it based on top voted. So this is Lucid Q4 2024, just opened at 4:30. And now it is 6:50, so ultimately good 2 hours. And yeah, kind of funny. So for those of you that have watched my channel, I've often enough brought up Paul. Over the last couple of earnings, this individual named Paul seems to have a lot of power. So based on the complexity of previous questions, that's a nice way of putting it, they were very simple. So this is from the Q3, just asking about the share price. Even Paul right here asks about positive margins. Same types of questions was asked during Q2. So I always said that Paul was planted. Maybe an employee, something like that. I'm not really sure. But these questions coming from Paul and some others are a lot more complex. So again, maybe not lowballing it this time around. So with Gravity deliveries being low while you're manufacturing ramp up quality, mindset, constraint, are you concerned that you will lose a lot of customers who have pre-ordered due to long wait times similar to what happened with the Air? Honestly, very good question. Very, very good question. And yeah, honestly, there's not really much I would change about that. So definitely a good one. Do you anticipate having a in-house system for self-driving, or will you work with another AI company to produce this system? I think this is also a good one. There'll be a good opportunity for them to talk on their pre-existing partnership with NVIDIA, because in theory, I was under the impression that the Gravity, as what they stated 2 years ago, should have autonomous level base 3 moving to 4. So it's going to have the kind of structure already for that. So this, I think, would be a good question for Peter to kind of talk on, because I feel like that's something that a lot of people might have forgotten that they announced was supposed to be in the Gravity. Just it happened 2 years ago, so people forgot that or just don't care anymore. But definitely another good question. Peter mentioned how Lucid aims to be 80% tech company and 20% car company. When is the revenue from tech plays expected? What categories, products do you see making up that 80%? Another very good question. That's what everyone wants to know. And actually, even if you pop over to social media right now, people are bringing up this article right here, and it's talking on positioning Lucid for the future, talking about partnerships, and they're using the words like planned, so nothing's really definitive, nothing's set in stone as of right now. So I think people are very frustrated, and arguably like it's justified. They want to know, what the hell, you can't just be talking out of your ass saying, hey, we want to do like a 80-20 split, but right now the 80 is non-existent for the most part, excluding Aston Martin. So definitely a good one. Yeah, honestly, I've been covering Lucid for a while, and this is probably the first very good set of questions. So keep it up, that's for sure. So Paul, another one by Paul. It has been mentioned that discussions are ongoing regarding potential tech deals since 2021, with one deal made. Are the recently mentioned discussions the same or with different manufacturers? Do you see a deal being made before the Atlas motor is ready? I like the fact that they brought up the specifics Atlas motor, because it kind of shows a benchmark what people are interested in. From my understanding, so during that big tech day in September, he alluded to a lot of partnerships coming close to the mid-size. Of course, this one kind of shows, this article says a little bit several years out. So years meaning more than one. And so the mid-size is supposed to be out next year. So it's still a lot of grayness. And you can clearly tell that there's a certain level of frustration from these individuals. With superior battery technology, why are partnerships not being confirmed? Another very good concrete answer or a question, even from that, again, that tech manufacturing day. I loved it. It was very good. A lot of analysts gave good ratings because of that, so they liked it as well. But my biggest takeaway was the same thing. For those of you that remembered the live stream I did, I even said afterwards, like, okay, So key takeaway is your amazing technology is like bar none. It's amazing, but why aren't people lining up to get it? That's the biggest thing. Are you just charging too much? Are you potentially just, is it too high that nobody is going to do it? Yeah. So, Patrick, can you speak to the demand that you've seen for the Gravity since opening orders? What about any issues regarding to the production ramp up? The idea of the Gravity wasn't at the DC Auto Show. Are there other shows? Blah blah blah. Yeah, another good thing. So this is what people are caring about: is what sources of money and revenue is Lucid going to be generating in the foreseeable future? So there's that, and Gravity. Gravity, they've been stating for a while, is going to be their big moneymaker, and kind of lay the foundation for the second variation of the Gravity, so the touring and also the midsize. So if their Gravity is flopping, what does that mean for the future of Lucid? That is kind of my takeaway from these questions. Can you explain the advantages of investing in Lucid stock? Honestly, that is much better than this question that was asked in previous earnings, like, hey, with the stock so low, what do you have to tell the investors? This one is saying, hey, why should we invest in you? And I'm actually very impressed. A lot of these, this is the very first time I'm reading them, so you're kind of seeing a very honest reaction. I like all these questions so far, and this one, very well worded, and it's getting them to explain why the hell should we invest more money with you? One thing as well, nobody has really brought up, but I think dilution, that one is, what is your plan? I don't know how to word it, but I feel like also dilution is also another concern as well, because most likely, as I've estimated, probably tail end of Q3, they will need more money. And not only that though, 2026, by September, they need to come up with another 2 billion or 2.5, I can't remember though, to pay off those convertible notes. So it's definitely a lot more coming. But this one right here, 𝗪𝗧𝗡𝗘𝗖𝗧, sorry if I'm butchering your name. So current combined capacity of AMP1, which is 90,000, AMP2, which is 150. I think AMP2, they're kind of doing that too early, because right now it's only 10. So it's going to be 150 in, I think, 2026, but stands at 240,000 vehicles. Can you elaborate on the timeline for a full 400,000 build out for AMP1 as indicated in previous disclosures? Where is additional capacity planned to reach the stated 1 million units by early 2030s? So 1 million. I think Peter, I don't know if he's just trying to be like an Elon type of style, to just throw out random numbers. 1 million, ever since he stated that, which I think was at the beginning or mid 2024, I was always concerned. It's like, how the hell, where are you going to be making these? It doesn't logically make sense. You don't have the capacity unless you're going to be opening up a third facility. I think at the time that's how I was speculating, because there was also some hiring that was going on in Taiwan, if I remember correctly. So pointing that there would be maybe a facility there, but yeah, there's no way that they can do 1 million units based on current capacity. So that's something. And then Alan, when can you expect Gravity order numbers? And so yeah, that's pretty much all the top questions. What is your position on autonomy? Any chance you license Tesla FSD? So that one would be another good question. So I just wanted to kind of pop on, go over these questions, give a shout out to a lot of these individuals. Much better questions and quality of questions than previous or ever in Lucid's existence that they've ever done this. This is single-handedly the best questions. One thing as well I was meaning to bring up, I guess, in previous videos, I guess the new CFO isn't actually doing this earnings, because it does show still Gagnon here, Principal Accounting Officer. And if we go back over here, technically he does show he's going to be starting, I think, on February 25th. So I don't know, maybe this is just a clerical error or just a system error or something like that, whereas this should be that new individual, or if Gagnon's this is his last hurrah as this. But yeah, I don't know, something to kind of take note of. So let me know your thoughts on all of this. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. I always greatly appreciate that. And if there's any other questions that you feel would be good, definitely throw them in the comments, or even better yet, put the links on there, and then I can push them out as best as I can to as many people. One thing as well, I guess nobody asked, was about that recent article about quantum battery, solid state battery. I feel like innovation like that's stuff that we also would be good to know, in addition to ESS. I know I've really pushed ESS quite a lot because it's a huge business. That's what everyone and their dog is really gravitating towards, and Lucid had kind of a first step ahead of everyone back in 2022, but they kind of just sat back. And the reason why they sat back is because Saudi Arabia didn't have the infrastructure for that to accommodate. Since then, they've invested a ton of money. So I feel like maybe they were just told to, hey, cool it. PIF doesn't want ESS right now because it doesn't make sense for them. But now it does, and Lucid should really be getting on top of that. So that's just my 2 cents. So yeah, keep up the good questions, everyone. Let me know your thoughts. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up, and have a good night, guys.